My friends, how are you? It is absolutely fantastic to see you for yet another video. And Donald Trump is absolutely getting trashed by America right now in a lot of different ways, as his popularity is really falling off with the American people. And to me, that matters. I don't really know how important it is, but there's some funny things we're going to talk about today, and we'll talk about the polls and things like that, as America may be waking up to the fact that Donald Trump is an absolute menace, and maybe finally going to start doing something about it. I don't really know, but I noticed a few things that I found interesting that I at least wanted to talk about. One of the first things, we'll just get this out of the way right up front, because I don't really know how much it matters, but it was just kind of funny, I guess. Donald Trump went to the U.S. Open, and I'll be honest with you, I don't even know what the hell the U.S. Open is. Possibly tennis, I don't really know. Anyways, they put that big chubby bastard up on the big screen, I think during the national anthem, which is, what's the word I'm looking for? Sort of an oxymoron, I think, or, two conflicting things. While they sing the national anthem and about our freedoms and stuff, they put a fascist up on the fucking screen for everyone to see. I think that's the word I'm looking for, but there might be a better term for that. Anyways, yeah, ain't that America, though? That's kind of where we're at right now. Remember last year at the Super Bowl, Donald Trump was offended that the end zone was going to say end racism on it, so the NFL scrambled to change that to something else that didn't say end racism. I don't really remember. I remember I was extremely annoyed with the NFL last year when they did that, but then, you do have these sort of industries bowing down to Donald Trump sometimes. It's goofy, it's pathetic, but anyways, they put his big fat orange face up on the big screen where, the crowd erupted in boos for Donald Trump. And look, I don't really think that's that big of a deal. He got booed, I'm not going to make a whole video just out of that, because, yeah, it's true. Donald Trump's a dick and no one fucking likes him. But I found it to be kind of interesting for one reason, is because Donald Trump visibly got his feelings hurt by people booing him. And I would have went one further. I would have been the guy in the crowd starting a fuck Donald Trump chant right to his face. That's what I probably would have done. But I guess I wasn't there, so I didn't get the opportunity to do that. But as the crowd started booing, you could see the look of hurt on his face as he realized the people were not on his side, and quite frankly, they're sick of his bullshit. And to me, I found that to be a little bit amusing. It was weird, because how do you act like a dictator and a fascist, and then you stand up and you wave your chubby tiny hands to the American people, only to find out they don't like you, and then you're surprised by that? The same guy that has used the presidency to enrich himself and his inner circle, his family, in a lot of ways, by scamming his own base with a meme coin, by using tariffs to build himself a golden ballroom, by using tariffs to renovate his $400 million Qatari jet, by using tariffs to level the fucking Rose Garden and turn it into a concrete slab called the Rose Club now. Isn't that fancy? Where we get to see pictures of America's elites enriching themselves off the backs of working class Americans. You start to wonder why nobody likes this fucking prick, right? You start to wonder why maybe we might have a fucking problem with the guy. But obviously there's much more to it. The guy's just an absolute menace, but I found the whole thing to be pretty interesting. He was shocked that people didn't fucking like him. And why? Why are you even surprised? I would have at least a little more respect if he owned it and he's like, yeah, I'm a fucking dick to these people. I'm stealing their money. I'm bankrupting them. I'm killing their grandparents. I'm bankrupting their farms. I'm causing them to lose jobs, but I'm getting rich, so fuck them. I would at least kind of respect that a little bit, but he tries to act like he's doing good things for the American people, and I don't fucking get it. So anyways, I want to talk a little bit also about I want to talk about the poll numbers, but I also, speaking of a fuck Donald Trump chant, let's talk about him turning the military on America's cities right now and how wildly unpopular that is. You see, the Trump regime has a habit of finding ways to put on display how tiny their peepees are a lot of the time, and we used to have what was called the Department of Defense, right? Where they defended us, I guess. So somebody had mentioned on the internet that that was just a way, the naming was just a way to get Americans on board with funding the military industrial complex in America. If we call it defense, people will be more happy to spend money on it. I don't really know. That sounds like it makes sense to me, but they changed it to Department of War. Department of War, because they're all a bunch of badasses and they're going to war. They're going to war. God damn it, that's what's going to happen. And then Donald Trump decided it would be a good fucking idea to post a meme on the internet while he's turning the military against Chicago, which I'll be honest, I haven't got to dive into that much. I don't know what's going on in Chicago right now, if it's going crazy over there. That's on my list of, it's a never-ending list with Donald Trump, right? That's on my list of things to look into. But he posted a meme about how Chicago, an American city, is going to find out why they now call it the Department of War. Donald Trump openly said that he is declaring war on Americans and using the military to do so. When a reporter asked him about that, why he is going to war with America, Donald Trump looked at this lady and said, "You shut your mouth. That's the problem with you. You never shut your mouth. That's why you're second rate," or something to that effect. That spoiled fucking brat, one time in his life, needed to have somebody fucking tell him what the fuck is up. This is 80 years of this spoiled little man-child always being told yes, people praising him all the fucking time. I said I'd be the one starting a Donald Trump chant. There's a reason they probably don't let me in the media pool at the White House either, because I'd be yelling back at that fat son of a bitch. Giving him a fucking piece of my mind is what I'd be doing. I'd get fired pretty quick, but it'd be worth it. We'd get a viral moment out of it, and then my YouTube channel would probably grow substantially. Before he threw me in a concentration camp for talking back to him, of course, it would be very short-lived success, my friends, but it would be fucking worth it to do it. Anyways, the turning the military on the American people, turns out that's wildly unpopular too, my friends. Turns out we don't fucking like that. Who knew? I mean, this is shocking, isn't it? Excuse me. Anyways, I wanted to get to the poll numbers. So the poll numbers are very bad for Donald Trump. Unless you ask Fox News. If you ask Fox News, Donald Trump is the most amazing president ever. Everybody in America loves him. He can do no wrong. Much like, who is it, Kim Jong-un, who does not have a butthole because his body doesn't produce any waste. That's the same thing that Fox News thinks of Donald Trump. And that's why you get the fucking knuckleheads that watch Fox News running around the internet going, "What are you talking about? Donald Trump has the highest approval ratings of all time." In reality, though, Donald Trump has the worst approval ratings fucking ever. And I don't know how much that matters. So I'm not really celebrating it. I'm just kind of pointing it out. I don't know how much it matters, right? Because does a dictator give a shit when the people don't like him anymore? I don't know if they really fucking care at that point. But I do have to wonder, we do still have somewhat a semblance of a democracy, right? I do have to wonder if it does matter and if it's something they're paying attention to, because so far, as of right now, they have not managed to completely destroy our elections, and we are rapidly approaching the midterm elections. So with that in mind, I do have to wonder if the polling matters, and if it's something that they'll start to pay attention to as we go into these midterm elections or not. I gotta turn up the AC. Sorry, guys. I get warm when I start dancing around back here and talking to you, and then I start coughing and choking. I'm gross. I'm fucking disgusting is what I am. Anyways, I don't know how much the polling matters is what I'm trying to say. I wonder if they will start to pay attention to that and start to pull off a bunch of the shit that they do. But people have made some good points to me about when it comes up on the midterms. Right before the midterms, that's probably when Donald Trump will bail out what's left of the farmers, those that haven't gone bankrupt yet, to try to get their vote back. Right before the midterms, we might see a lot of really good things happen from the Republican Party to act like they're trying to help the American people so that they can win some elections. I don't really fucking know. But the polling is bad. It's really ugly. We do have a chance, if democracy still exists, in in the midterms to actually put a fucking end to Donald Trump's presidency effectively by blocking him from doing anything by giving the Democrats the majority. That is a thing that Gavin Newsom has pointed out, and I think that's a pretty interesting statement because, yeah, it basically ends his presidency and all his fascism if we can win in the fucking midterms. And because Donald Trump is doing so much fucking of rural America, the red states that are screaming for fucking help because he's bankrupting them, these midterms coming up do have the chance to turn this whole fucking thing on its head. And that's, maybe it's just hope. I don't really know, but it's interesting to see how much popularity in America Donald Trump has lost, even amongst his own base, because they're finally starting to catch on. The guy that said, I'm going to lower grocery prices on day one, I'm going to fix the economy on day one, I'm going to bring back manufacturing jobs. He's losing manufacturing jobs. I'm gonna lower inflation going up, unemployment going up, jobs going down. You guys get the fucking point. He's fucking the whole thing up is what I'm trying to tell you. And there are people in that sort of MAGA base that are waking up to the fact that he is fucking the living shit out of them, and they're not enjoying it at all. And then they're starting to turn against Donald Trump, all of these farmers and everything. So I do have to wonder if the polling matters and what the result of it will be, right? Does Donald Trump and the Republicans stay the course going into the midterms if they're not able to successfully fully rig the midterms? I don't really fucking know, but they're trying. The Texas thing happened. I think they're trying in Missouri and I believe Indiana. I may be wrong about that one, but they're trying to gerrymander the fuck out of those states too, while a lot of Democratic governors out there appear to be sitting on their hands, which I don't like saying that. You guys know, like, there's never a time that I necessarily, especially when our options are fascism and democracy, I don't ever want to criticize a Democrat necessarily. There are some out there, Gavin Newsom, Pritzker, the lady I believe up in New York is looking at some things, but other than that, it feels kind of quiet, like there's not really much going on to gerrymander the shit out of the blue states in return. But the point is, I don't know how much it matters if it changes the course or if democracy's gone yet. I don't really fucking know. But one thing I have been noticing, my friends, because I have been doing this channel for a while now, and I have a weird habit of sort of paying attention to the trends, right? And the MAGA dorks were leaving me alone for a while. It was completely silent. They weren't saying fucking anything. They were just kind of enjoying their victory, I guess, having a really good time. And now that I'm able to point to the economic failures of Donald Trump, now that we're actually seeing the destruction that he's causing, the MAGA base has been whipped up into a frenzy to come out and defend Donald Trump at all cost, right? This appears to be a common strategy from the MAGA movement, right? There's a lot of, and I'm not saying this to like, oh, feel bad for me or anything. There's a lot of attempts to try to like intimidate me and shit like that, so I'll shut the fuck up and fall in line because I'm kind of fucking up their whole thing by pointing out to working class America the damage that Donald Trump is doing, right? And I noticed that, one of the sort of trends that I've noticed, it's not scientific, it's just my observations, but when Donald Trump starts fucking up and things start going wrong, the MAGA base tends to get louder and louder. They tend to come out here and be Donald Trump's hype men. They make their threats and whatever it is they're doing, all that cute shit that they do, right? And try to get everybody else to fall back in line and keep people from speaking out against Donald Trump. And the more we see these bad poll numbers, the bad press, the bad job numbers, the military being turned against the American people, the louder and louder they're getting as we are pointing these things out. So I think that they are even aware that Donald Trump is failing, Donald Trump is fucking them over, Donald Trump is fucking America over, and you will always have that loyal base to Donald Trump. Their sole mission in life is to get America to fall in line and try to scare you into saying what they want you to say. And I want them to know that that's not going to work, and I am fully aware of this trend, this pattern of getting louder and louder on Donald Trump's behalf every time he's fucking up. I'm going to keep my foot on the gas. I'm going to keep calling that shit out. And that's just the way this is going to fucking work. All right. That's the way this is going to go. But we are seeing very rapidly that Donald Trump is losing his influence over America in general. He's got his own base fighting with each other. Like Scott Bessent apparently was threatening to punch someone in the fucking face at one of their fancy dinners on the Rose Club. I can't believe they call it right. They just spit right in our faces, right? They just say, "Hey, peasants, look at our Rose Club over here." Anyway, Scott Bessent was threatening to punch someone in the fucking face. These candy ass motherfuckers. They can stand around with their big group of rich sissies and they can fucking talk about punching each other in the mouth. None of them are intimidating and none of them scare me in the fucking least at all. But anyways, what I'm pointing out with that is the cabinet is sort of having a lot of internal feuds right now also, as this entire thing goes to hell, as Mike Johnson tried to convince the American people that Donald Trump was an FBI informant. Oh, these people fucking kill me, my friends. Tried to convince the American people that Donald Trump was an FBI informant working for the FBI to bring down Epstein, after they had already claimed that the Epstein files were a Democratic hoax. So now we've got a president of the United States that works for the FBI that pretends to be bringing down a human trafficking ring for a thing that doesn't even exist. And now the Republicans want us to believe that this is all normal, and none of this sounds batshit fucking crazy, right? So, my friends, look, it's scary times. It really fucking is. I have a severe anxiety these days. Trust me, I get it. I understand. But you can watch and you can see how there are parts of this house of cards just collapsing. And we have to find ways to keep our foot on the gas. Don't allow these fucking MAGA dorks to intimidate you. Don't allow them to threaten you so you get back in line and stop speaking out against their fucking dear leader, and keep the pressure on in any way you can, because they're crumbling in so many fucking ways, and we need everybody out there to just find ways to attack that, to take advantage of the weaknesses they are showing us and get this fucking fascist out of America. That's what we really need. Anyways, those are just my observations. I see a lot of America sort of waking up to what is going on. I guess to wrap it up, if we do make it to midterms and the Republicans feel threatened as those midterms come up, that's when you will probably see the government start doing a lot of things to help out the people that they've been fucking over for nearly the last year, mainly the farmers. We will probably see farmer bailouts right before those midterms, and it's going to be up to us with our big mouths on the internet to remind the farmers that they only gave them that bailout so that they could get them to vote for them once again. And maybe they should just start voting Democrat, because the Democrat always wants to make sure that the farmers don't go under, because they understand how important it is to have a food supply in a country. Yeah, imagine that. Anyways, that incessant rambling is over. I should get back to work. Love you guys. Bye now.